Close to the wolf, from which it is the domestic subspecies, with over 300 breeds of short or long fur, the dog is a carnivorous mammal with a well-developed sense of smell. It is found on all continents, sometimes in the wild, most often domesticated. Fast in running, it communicates through barking or yelping. It mainly feeds on meat but also grains and green vegetables. The dog was initially an auxiliary for hunting and guarding herds before becoming a companion animal. In the Middle Ages, it was intertwined with feudal life. It participated in grand hunts alongside the falcon. Later on, princes had male and female dogs that slept in their beds and had their litters there. In the 17th century, it was fashionable to carry a litter of small dogs in a very ample muff. The weight was such that the muff had to be supported with a cord. Today, still acclaimed for its intelligence and loyalty to humans, the dog has become one of the most beloved household pets. Dogs, explains Jacques-Collin de Plancy, were usually the faithful companions of witches. In reality, it was the devil who, to avoid suspicion, followed them disguised as a dog, although he was still recognizable. When the devil made a pact with a desperate person whom he had promised wonders or assured vengeance against tormentors, he would have the convert sign a blank parchment with his own blood, add Kabbalistic signs, and then imprint his mark, a dog's paw, on the body of his follower, who would then become a witch. In Greek mythology, the dog of Hades, god of the underworld, was a vile creature with 3 heads and a dragon's tail. Cerberus had a mouth filled with powerful jaws, black and sharp fangs, and a neck bristling with a manner of snakes. Charged with guarding the entrance to the underworld, he was not to let any living being enter and terrified the dead who tried to escape. However, some deities managed to deceive him. Psyche, a princess of great beauty who came to the underworld to retrieve a box of cosmetics, managed to lull the monster to sleep by offering him a cake soaked in wine mixed with sleeping draughts. Orpheus, son of the king of Thrace, played his lyre to charm him, and Hercules, son of Zeus, half-strangled him with his hands before returning him to the underworld. From the time of Pliny the Elder until the Middle Ages, the dog was part of the ritual of uprooting mandrake, a hallucinogenic plant with magical properties from which witches prepared an ointment to rub on themselves before flying to the Sabbath. The ceremony unfolded as follows.
To seize the magical root, tie a living dog to one of the fibers of the cursed plant, and while the bound animal struggles, uprooting a bit of the coveted herb with each movement, stealthily watch for it in the shadows to, as the mandrake barely emerges from the ground, rush upon the panting beast and eviscerate it with a knife. The life of the slaughtered animal then passes into the hideous root and animates it with the breath necessary for prompt and sure incantations.
A heroine of ancient Greece, Hecate, goddess of the underworld, capable of divination and sorcery, symbolizes the black moon, a sign of death. She has 3 heads on a woman's body, one of a lion, one of a horse, and one of a dog, which correspond to the 3 phases of the moon: growth, decline, disappearance. Hecate administers the streets and crossroads, and in the underworld, she is in charge of road policing and public security. For headaches, Pliny advised wearing, tied in cloth, dog hair, and, to treat catarrhs, a severe cold, wrapping any finger with dog skin. Against sore throats, he also recommended as a remedy a strap of dog skin wound thrice around the neck. Lastly, he recounted the mag's words.
A tick taken from the left ear of a completely black dog and worn as an amulet calms all pains.
And their auguries.
If the patient responds to the one who brings the tick, standing at the foot of his bed, death is not to be feared. If, on the contrary, he says nothing, he will succumb,